Breaking: Westminster in unprecedented crisis as Prince William's 12-page memo leaks. Accuses Starmer of constitutional tyranny. This is absolutely explosive. Just moments ago, in a development that has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, the full contents of Prince William's 12-page constitutional memorandum have been leaked to the press. I repeat, the document that Downing Street tried to bury, that they threatened civil servants over, is now public. And what it contains will fundamentally alter the relationship between the Crown and the government for generations to come. Trust me, you need to hear every single word of what comes next, because what Prince William has put in writing doesn't just criticize Keir Starmer's government. It accuses the Prime Minister of breaking Britain's most sacred constitutional principles. This is a constitutional declaration of war, and the 5 bombshells inside don't just challenge the Prime Minister's authority. They threaten to bring his entire legislative agenda crashing down. Here's the situation right now. According to 5 separate high-level sources, 2 inside Whitehall, 1 from within the Palace of Westminster, and 2 with direct access to Kensington Palace. The 12-page document was leaked to a senior constitutional affairs editor at the BBC at approximately 4:45 p.m. this afternoon. The reaction inside number 10 was immediate chaos. One source described aides literally running between offices, printers working overtime, and the Prime Minister's chief of staff slamming a door so hard the frame cracked. Prince William was reportedly informed of the leak while attending a veterans charity event in London. An eyewitness said he showed no surprise, only a grim determination. He was overheard telling his senior aide, "The truth had to come out. The Constitution is not theirs to break." Before we continue, if you're watching this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This story is moving at lightning speed, and you will not want to miss what happens next. The British people deserve to know what their government tried to hide. This isn't a letter. It's a meticulously researched, legally unassailable indictment. A constitutional takedown of historic proportions. Keir Starmer didn't just try to suppress this. He attempted a full-scale cover-up. And now, the entire plan has been exposed. We've learned that when a memo was hand-delivered to Downing Street 48 hours ago, it triggered an emergency 90-minute meeting in the Prime Minister's private office. A Whitehall insider told us the atmosphere was absolutely electric, like standing in a thunderstorm. The government's first instinct wasn't to respond, it was to silence. Within 2 hours, Number 10's legal team was exploring options to issue a D-notice, a media blackout, on the grounds of national security. Let me be clear, that was a pretext. They wanted to hide the memo's contents from you. But it gets worse. A directive was sent from the Cabinet Office to all permanent secretaries, classifying the memo as sensitive and internal, and warning that any civil servant who discussed it would be in breach of the Official Secrets Act. This was a threat, a wall of silence enforced by fear. Why were they so terrified? Because, as one senior constitutional barrister put it, this isn't a protest. It's a prosecution. The memo systematically dismantles the government's proposed Constitutional Reform Act line by line, using legal precedent and historical authority that has left government lawyers stunned and outmaneuvered. One Number 10 advisor was overheard saying, "We thought we were dealing with a figurehead. We're facing a constitutional scholar." This leak hasn't just embarrassed Keir Starmer. It has exposed a deliberate, calculated attempt to sideline the future king. And now, we can reveal the first of 5 historic charges from that memo. Bombshell 1. The unlawful usurpation of royal prerogative. On page 3 of the leaked document, Prince William levels what sources are calling a constitutional atom bomb. He directly accuses the Starmer government of attempting to use ordinary legislation to bypass and effectively erase centuries of established royal prerogative powers belonging not to Parliament, but to the Crown. Here's the critical point. The government's bill, which aims to strip the monarchy of key ceremonial and constitutional powers, is being rushed through without cross-party consensus and, most damningly, without the Crown's proper engagement. William's memo argues these powers, such as the appointment of ministers, the dissolution of Parliament, and the royal assent to laws, are not just symbolic. They are the bedrock of the UK's unwritten constitution. By attempting to alter them through a simple majority, Starmer is accused of acting ultra vires, beyond his legal authority. A source close to the palace legal team revealed, William's central argument is this: the government cannot simply vote itself powers that have belonged to the Crown since the Middle Ages. That isn't democracy, it's tyranny. Let that sink in. The future king has formally accused the sitting prime minister of acting like a tyrant. The memo reportedly cites foundational cases like the Case of Proclamations, 1611, and principles embedded in the Bill of Rights of 1689, precedents the government either ignored or never knew existed. This isn't political theater, it's a legal accusation of the highest order, and the experts are already weighing in. Professor Alastair Finch of Oxford University, who has advised two former prime ministers, told the BBC this morning, "What the Prince of Wales has done is shift this conflict from the political arena to the legal one. He is arguing the government is building on sand, that this legislation would be fundamentally illegitimate." A King's Counsel quoted in the Times added, "William's argument is unanswerable. The Prime Minister seems to believe he governs a republic. He is not. He is the King's First Minister." This document is a formal constitutional reminder of that reality. Starmer's legal team has been completely outflanked. The leak makes it impossible to ignore the challenge. The heir to the throne has publicly accused him of breaking the Constitution. Bombshell 2. Reckless disregard for the Commonwealth. This is where the crisis goes global. On page 5, William charges the government with a diplomatic catastrophe in the making. He argues that Starmer's government, in its ideological rush, has forgotten that King Charles III is not just monarch of the United Kingdom. He is head of state of 14 other independent nations, including Canada, Australia, and Jamaica. The memo poses a devastating question. Did the Prime Minister consult the leaders of these sovereign nations before proposing legislation that fundamentally alters the crown they all share? The answer, according to a senior Foreign Office source, is a resounding no. This isn't just a constitutional crisis, it's an international insult. William's document asserts that this bill treats the Commonwealth realms as colonial afterthoughts. The fallout is already unfolding. Diplomatic cables from Canberra and Ottawa, portions of which we have obtained, describe the move as constitutionally reckless and deeply disrespectful. One Canadian official was overheard saying, "You don't change the rules of a shared institution without even a courtesy call." But there's a darker layer. Leaked WhatsApp messages from the same radical labor faction that previously called the royals parasites allegedly read, "If the Commonwealth is offended, good. It's time they cut ties." This reveals the true agenda, not modernization, but deliberate dismantling of the monarchy itself. And Keir Starmer is either complicit or being used as a pawn. Bombshell 3. Corrupting the civil service. Here, William elevates the conflict into a defense of the British state itself. On page 7, he accuses the government of forcing civil servants to violate their constitutional oaths. Remember, civil servants serve the Crown, not the Prime Minister. Their code demands political neutrality and constitutional fidelity. William's memo argues that by pushing legally questionable legislation, the government is compelling officials to choose between their duty and their careers. But gets more alarming. Buried in an annex, William highlights a secret clause in the draft bill granting the Prime Minister sweeping new powers to reassign or discipline senior civil servants, including permanent secretaries, deemed to be obstructing the government's agenda. Let me be crystal clear. This is a purge clause, a legal weapon to remove anyone who upholds the Constitution over party politics. William reportedly calls it an affront to democratic principles and a hallmark of an illiberal state. The government didn't just ignore the civil service. It built a mechanism to punish loyalty to the crown. This is the moment the crisis became a battle for the soul of British governance. Bombshell 4. Public mandate deceit. This is the political masterstroke. On page 9, William accuses Starmer of lying to the British public by enacting a radical constitutional overhaul never mentioned in Labour's election manifesto. He is telling Labour backbenchers, "You are betraying the voters who elected you." And the public is responding catastrophically for the government. A new YouGov poll shows Starmer's approval rating has plummeted 15 points overnight. 78% of Britons believe he has no mandate for these changes. A public petition opposing the bill has exploded from 460,000 to 1.22 million signatures in under 48 hours. The government's response, calling William's intervention inappropriate, now sounds not just weak but delusional. Bombshell 5. Imminent threat to the Union. This is the final, gravest charge. On page 11, William states that by attacking the crown, the golden thread binding England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, the government is fanning the flames of separatism and handing a strategic gift to nationalist movements. He concludes, weakening the monarchy doesn't modernize Britain, it destabilizes it. William has positioned himself not as a prince protecting privilege, but as the final defender of the United Kingdom itself. A senior Conservative MP told us minutes ago, it's checkmate. Starmer must now choose his radical allies or the survival of the Union. He cannot have both. This is no longer a political dispute. It is a constitutional firestorm, and it's only just begun. Important disclaimer. This presentation is a work of fiction and political speculation. No such memorandum exists or has been leaked. All names, events, and scenarios described are hypothetical and created for the purpose of constitutional analysis and discussion. This is not a real news report, and no events described have actually occurred. The analysis is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only.